Well, welcome. So I know that you've each had a time in your life where you knew that you were going to do the right thing, that you needed to do the right thing. And for some reason, you didn't, whatever that might be. Time, money, fear, whatever that might be, that you didn't do the right thing. And I think that we might all agree that time is something that we can manipulate. It really, I think you would all agree that it was just yesterday that it was January 2020, and the year is poof, it's gone. And then you've all had that experience if you've had kids that they're not home on time, and they aren't calling, you can't get them on the phone, and it's like, oh my gosh, what happened? Or that you've waited for those medical results, that test, and you're not getting the call. Time is the thing that we can manipulate. But I want us to consider that we know what the right thing is and the right time to do it. And I attempt to do the right thing when I need to for these young men that think that they know the right thing to do at the right time. And yes, that is my 21-year-old with a tampon up his nose. He's resourceful, if nothing else. And that is my youngest. That's Kelton. He is the aspiring model, Devo wannabe, millionaire, gamer in his future life, selling and wrapping cars. These young men are resourceful, and they know the right thing to do. They don't necessarily have the timing down sometimes, but that's why I do what I do. And, we stand at that road of oh, can I do it? Can I not do it? It's a can or a can't, and we make up all of these excuses about why we don't do the right thing. Well, I'm here to say that we all know what the right thing is. And that we need to get off of that treadmill of making excuses for not doing the right thing. So I'd like to invite you into one of my experiences years ago when I was clinically practicing as a hygienist. And I was working with Eric. And Eric is a big stoic German man that followed my recommendations. And he was in the practice like clockwork. Every 3 months he would come in. But when he was on my schedule, the forecasts for my day went from bright and sunny to I don't know if I'm going to make it to 5 o'clock. Because my stomach would get all in a knot and my hair would just start standing on end. Because he was one of those patients that had high blood pressure. He would attest in front of a jury that it was white coat syndrome. We had begun spending more time of that appointment trying to get it safe to treat him. Take a few deep breaths. Let's lay the chair down. I had changed the batteries on the cuff. Today, I was prepared. I had calibrated the blood pressure machine on myself to make sure that I could attest that my blood pressure cuff was working. I wasn't going to go down that road. So let's fast forward into the appointment. We're in the chair, and I go to get the blood pressure cuff out, and I'm like, hey, let's check your blood pressure. In this German accent that takes over the appointment that everyone can hear in the office. He's like, I don't know why you take my blood pressure. It's none of your damn business. I was like, Eric, as long as that head sits on that body and it's connected to those teeth, it's in my world. So we checked the blood pressure, and it was predictably dangerously high. So today, I went knee to knee, and I sat with Eric, and I said, Eric, we're not going to be doing your hygiene visit today. It's unsafe to be doing your hygiene visit today. And of course, we all know how that went. In his big German stature, he stands up, and everyone in the office heard. It's like, and he's ripping his bib off, and he's protesting all the way down to the front office manager saying, I don't know why you're doing that. I was only here to clean my teeth, and that girl won't clean my teeth. So he disappeared. He fell off the face of the earth. And he didn't respond to our continuing care attempts. I sent him a couple of handwritten notes. I coach people how to manage these things, and he had disappeared. A year later, he returned. He shows up on my schedule again. And I had that visceral response. Oh my gosh, what's going to happen? Oh my gosh, am I going to make it to 5 o'clock? Am I going to be okay? Is he going to rush out of the practice again? Well, so I welcomed him back and I said, Eric, it is so good to see you. And he had this Cheshire grin on his face as he sits there. And I went to go check his blood pressure, and I'm checking his blood pressure, and it's actually reasonable. And he looks at me, and this grin, and he's like, they tell you? I said, Eric, tell me what? And he was like, and he turns his head, and he proudly displays this very large scar. He says, you did that. Wow, what was that all about, Eric? And he was like, Eric proceeds to tell me his story, that upon my advice, which I should have given him years earlier, he went and he saw the physician. And the physician asked him, you know, what brings you here today? He's like, that girl, she wouldn't clean my teeth. And the doctor laughed initially until he checked his blood pressure to find that it was dangerously high. And he had an EKG that day, and Eric was on the operating table within 1 week of that visit. They found 2 occluded arteries almost at 100%. And that doctor eventually told Eric, you need to tell that girl that she saved your life. And it was from that moment that I got very, very passionate about doing the right thing at the right time. And that it's very important that we give up all of our concepts of why we don't do the right thing. You know, whether it be time, fear, money, being chastised, worrying about our boss. You know, my dentist at that point, he was upset with me initially because a patient had left the practice. After Eric rejoined the practice, the right thing became the right standard. So today we're going to be working on concepts of how to do the right thing at the right time and work through those things and those challenges that we make excuses for not doing the right thing, because it matters. So what we would be working on today would be things like being prepared, being intentional, and being acutely aware. What I'd like to tell you is that you need to be your own PIA. Because doing the right thing at the right time, it is sometimes a PIA. So let's dig in and let's get serious about doing the right thing.